Hey, every no one. This is Melina here with actress Shmactress. God damn it, every time I say it, it's going to be difficult. So listen, just recorded the first episode with the lovely Britt Fiola, and went super well. You're about to listen to it. We actually talked for another hour or so after recording. It just, I'm sorry this episode is so long, but listen, we had a lot to talk about. We did not get to what I was hoping we'd get to, not hoping actually, screw it, background and stand-in work and information about that. What I'm thinking is the format for these might be kind of different. I think I'm just gonna talk and get to know these actresses, and I'm gonna spew some information at you in some maybe mini little episodes here and there. So we're gonna get down to background and stand-in work and all the logistics with them, maybe some personal stories thrown in. If you are listening and have some stories of background and stand-in work, please email actress shmactresspodcast@gmail.com. The Shmactress is SHMACT. You know what? You can spell. So email me with those stories, because people who may not be in the industry or have not done that work may think, well, what stories are there to tell? Oh, there are plenty of stories. Maybe I'll tell my Mark Wahlberg story, which actually isn't that interesting, but it's Mark Wahlberg, so you're gonna want to listen. And then on top of that, something that I always want to know, which we will hopefully get to with our Shmactresses, and just people in general, is, email with your audition horror stories, because those are so much fun. I love them. And, I'll think of mine, but all of them have been pretty perfect forever, so I don't know if I can find one. But seriously, so email with your horror stories, and email with your audition horror stories. Don't get weird. And email with information, tidbits, anything I can share with background stand-in work, all that jazz. I definitely would love to share a follow-up from that episode. All right, this is going on so fucking long. I don't know how to end it. Well, I hope you enjoy this episode with Britt. It was so much fun, and I think it's I think you're gonna enjoy it and be very enlightened. I mean, I was. She brought up some really damn good points. All right, have a listen. And the closer I'm like, I got books for you in case you don't want to hold it. I'm weird, and I like holding it like this, like at an awards show.
I love it.
So the first question I have, which is sad, is how do you say your last name? The correct pronunciation of your last name?
Fiola.
Fiola. Okay, great. That's what I thought it was, but just in case I didn't want to be saying your name wrong this whole podcast. Okay. Well, hello to every no one out there listening to this, which is probably my mom and my sister and people
Yes.
because you'll tell them, I'm sure. But today we have our special guest, Britt Fiola, and we met on a web series. I'm still kind of what would we call it?
It's a teaser for the pilot of a web series.
Okay, there we go. Got it. I can't fit that on my resume, but so we met, but we only worked one day together. Mm-hmm. So hopefully, if this goes somewhere, you will be seeing Britt playing the character of Danny, continuing on this. My character dies, so you won't be seeing me.
It's pretty epic, though.
It's a pretty epic death.
Yeah.
And scene.
Blood.
Oh yeah. Maybe once I can get a little bit of it, maybe I'll put some of the recording in this, the screaming and the crying. So I want to know what's something, if you've thought about that, you're like, I want to just tell a bunch of actors about this. If something maybe now that you wish you knew years ago.
It's always so hard because I feel like in LA when you're first starting out, you get advice from everyone.
Yeah.
everyone. And it's neither good nor bad because everyone's journey is very different. So, someone could just start out and then be booking like crazy, or it takes them 10 years. So I've known a few people that actually started like recently and were asking for advice. And I'm like, the things I usually say are, if you're just moving to LA, it takes 3 years for LA to feel like home. So it takes 3 years for you to get a good group of friends that and this is just
Could
I mean,
vary,
sure,
but
yeah, but generally speaking, just because I think people out here and in this industry are very interesting people.
oh yes.
It's hard to fight through all that bullshit, and I think it really takes about 2 to 3 years for you to find your group of people you can rely on that are friends, that are creative friends, and really get into a creative home and have it feel like home.
Well, that being said, how long have you been here, and where are you from originally?
I'm not from crazy far, but it is different. I'm from Fullerton, California, so that's Orange County. It's about an hour and a half away from LA.
Okay, and that's where we were at the Silver
Yeah.
Dream Factory. Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah, that was 15 minutes from my parents' house.
Oh my God, so
it was
nice.
great. I spent the night. I was I didn't have to wake up too early. It was, sorry.
Oh, home is magical. Yeah, I'm from Boston, so that's very, very far. I can't go.
Yes.
Can't go hang out with my mommy.
Nope.
God knows I want to. So then where are you around here? I don't want anyone to creep and know where you live. So you don't have to share exactly, but
Near Eagle Rock,
Okay.
over there. It's not crazy far. It's I prefer to be on the outskirts, kind of
yeah, kind of far away from So how long have you been? When did you start really kind of pursuing acting?
4
It's a
years
career.
ago.
4 years ago. Okay. So do you think that after 3 years, you
yeah.
got?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, it was to the point now because that would have been last year. It's I slowly started to get friends out here that I personally had to deal with a lot of people that not very good people. Let's just say it that way.
And now I must ask for stories of them because we've all met them at some point, and they're crazy.
Well, I made the mistake of, I moved to an area in Hollywood that there was a lot of really cool bars around the corner. And I didn't know anyone. I knew one person who lived around the corner from me, and we had a huge falling out right when I moved there. She was going through some, let's just say there's a lot of abuse, substance abuse problems she was going through, and so she wasn't a very good person at the time. Example
That's rampant
number 1.
here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So actually she kind of figures into it as well, because she, I moved to this neighborhood because I thought I had friends there, and I was great. And then when I moved there, which is around the time I started acting, and she wasn't a very good, a good person. She wasn't in the right mindset. She's very different now. I'm not friends with her, but I'm happy she's doing well. But that's one example of the kind of thing that was going down. So I went out a lot, and I started thinking, well, this is the way to network, because that's how I started meeting people, was through the bars there. And I didn't realize that is not a good way to do things.
Wait, because I'm hearing the opposite. I'm always I never go to bars, and people are go socialize, Melina. Get out of your apartment and meet people. And I don't.
I mean, oh God, it's
So now I'm confused what to do.
not completely understand.
Where does networking come in?
Oh God. Well, I think there's healthy networking and unhealthy networking.
That's true.
So meeting people when you're drunk at midnight, I've met some really cool, well-connected people that are really sure awesome human beings, but I was getting into this habit of becoming a partier and having party friends, and they were well connected. They could do their jobs during the day like acting stuff. But they were, they didn't have to worry about money. So that's what they would do. They'd, wake up late, work out, focus on themselves, go to an acting class or go to auditions, and then drink like motherfuckers at night. And
so they'd make a lot of money on a few gigs kind of thing?
Yeah, and I think their families had a bit of money, so without wanting not wanting to say that, but
we know them.
Yes.
I have friends who are them, but
yep,
I won't name them.
Yep, and there's like definitely like groups of people that were like more doing coke, and like that's not my scene per se, but like I'm very like open and friendly, and I'm like, let's hang out. But even I'll admit, like looking back, I was drinking almost 5 days out of the week. It was insane.
Damn.
Yeah.
Although I have friends, I mean, I admire it because I can't stand the taste of alcohol. So I'm always like, wow, like look up to like a Disney princess for it.
Oh, dude.
But maybe
don't.
I'm very impressed. But
no, I'm like so ashamed because it was like such a weird point in my life. Like I think there's a part of me that, was self-sabotaging to an extent. So I tended to surround myself with some not so great characters. And then I finally just had a bartender at a place that I frequented. He's an actor and like a working actor. I mean, well, working enough to where he was bartending. He was getting those random gigs. Mm-hmm. But he sat me down one day and was like he was mad. He was like, "Why are you in here? Like, are you serious about this?" And like, cause he's like, if you are, you shouldn't be doing this. Like, you should be out there acting. Why are you in a bar getting drunk? Like, why are you here?
Was this a friend of yours or just some? Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was some like random Jiminy Cricket.
No,
giving you great advice.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. No, it's he's kind of like he's an acquaintance, but like I was a regular at the bar that he bartended at.
Are you still friends with him?
On Facebook.
Oh, that's where it matters. So
I'll send him a message once in a while, but not like we aren't like in constant contact. Just like maybe once a year catch up kind of thing. But it resonated with me because then I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is not the right way to do things. I've met people, but no one's going to take you seriously. Like if you're partying with them, they don't take you seriously. If you don't have any credit. Like, I mean, I had like, I've always done was doing student films at the time and indie stuff, and I had a commercial agent and that kind of I did not have a commercial agent at that time, but that changed when I decided to stop drinking for 4 months. And in that time I found out, holy shit, like none of these people are my friends. No, like the moment I said I'm not drinking anymore, I can still go out, I'm just gonna have soda water. They became so uncomfortable that they stopped hitting me up. Yeah, so it was a bit devastating to have like entire groups of people I would hang out with suddenly stop contact. So at that point I was like, whoa, it was depressing, but at the same time I was like, you know what, like this is for the better. And so I started meeting some really cool people at a restaurant I was working at, like some of the clientele that would come in, and they're like some of my closest friends now. So like
the customers?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Usually I hate the customers.
I know, right? It was a really weird space. We just had regulars, like really cool regulars.
Where is this? Would I know it?
It's closed down now. It's called Amalfi. It was on La Brea and First Street. Okay. And, kind of near there. I haven't worked there, obviously. They closed down over a year ago, but I hadn't worked there in 2 years. But I'm like, my closest friends are from there, and I met other people through those people, and it's just like, it was just a really cool place to, I mean, I hated it there for certain reasons, like for certain things that were on there, and I just, I needed to change the scenery at the time. But
I don't know if anybody, you were waiting tables?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody, leaves their restaurant job and like, I loved it there. And it was so great. I haven't heard one person. So,
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm so surprised that the customers became your
Yeah.
friends. And are they in the industry as well? I mean,
Yeah.
everyone is here, so. But okay.
Yeah.
In what capacity? Actors as well?
Multi-talented people. So like the actor, writer, director, producer types,
God.
like where they just have like an entire sentence for
Slash.
just slash.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Post-production, just like everything. Yeah, but they, they're just extremely supportive and just great. So like, I'm very thankful. But
That's awesome. I mean, I came from New York where I had 0 gal pals. And I had a lot of guy friends, and it's kind of weird because now I came to LA a year ago. And since being here, I maybe have one guy friend, which I don't know he's kind of more of a gal pal himself. But I have all these chick friends now, and you just kind of, in weird times or places in your life, find your people or your group, and you can really thrive more. Did you find yourself just in all areas of your life just doing better after kind of finding?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to sound really nerdy, but we started playing a role-playing game. So an RPG, Call of Cthulhu, which is awesome. And
I need to Google this.
It's H.P. Lovecraft type.
Oh my gosh, I'm so upset because I was invited to a birthday party where they did this. I know it was Lovecraft and roleplay, and I missed the birthday party and I didn't get to be a part of it.
You should.
Oh my God.
We haven't done it because we've been on kind of a hiatus since like January, maybe. But like it's a group of us, and like it's just really cool from an actor's perspective. If you like would have told me, I don't know, like 5 years ago, hey, you'd be doing this like Dungeons and Dragons type thing, I'd be like, no, like, but from an acting perspective, it's amazing because you get to be a character and you get to play with it and you are that character. And my friend, Clive is his name. Clive Hawkins, he's amazing. He's that multi-talented type of person. And so he's an actor, director, producer, has his own production company. He writes. So he is the best DM ever. He will like take the simple storyline, but fit it to our characters. And we all have little secrets, and we have like, it's a really.
Is DM like the god
Like
person?
it's
What's it
like
stand for?
Dungeon Master. If I'm wrong,
But
I'm
it's
sorry.
just get out. Wait, so Dungeon Master still qualifies as within the Lovecraft world, like dungeon.
It's a role playing game, so I think it's just a term that carries over to these types of games. So he's just the person that's in charge. Like he's the one that is in charge of keeping gameplay going, keeping it within the realms of where you're supposed to go in the storyline. But he completely rewrites everything to make it more interesting and more intense. And it's been like, one, it's really cool to see how my friend's done it, like to see talent happen, But like, it's just cool to be in a group of people where like you do silly things and you are, and we all get really intense about it.
Oh, great.
So like, it's amazing. It's I don't know. It's just really cool. Anyways.
I mean, that's like what we do when we're little kids, where we're so in it playing pretend. And I kind of wish that actors still did exactly that. Like pretend it was role play, pretend they're a little kid and playing pretend, where they're so fully committed to the character that when mom walks across the room that she is an ogre.
Yes.
That she's not mom anymore. And it's just there's a lot of actors showing that they're acting, and I really miss the it should be just role play.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's so many. Let me put an example here. So one of my acting classes that I'm doing right now is amazing, by the way, but I just got an email today saying, hey, for tomorrow, bring in your favorite song that you will just break into dance, like not like tap dancing or anything like that, but like just like letting loose and just enjoying and just being free. And the moment that it becomes in a class, my brain starts to go, oh God, which song? And all of a sudden I blank on the songs. And then I'm trying to find songs that I like to dance to, but then it's like, almost like I want to show my best. And it's like,
Oh, yeah.
what is wrong with me? Like, I should just pick a song I love and dance to it. But I think that's like kind of indicative of why people don't really do role playing stuff anymore and be like a little kid anymore. Is like all of a sudden it's like throughout your childhood, it's I've got to look good, I've got to be cool, and society will make fun of me if I do this. And it's like this ego comes into it that you no longer are free and present and just enjoying the moment and really living in that like creative improv space of your mom being an ogre, you know. Now you're like, my mom's an ogre, but oh God, what if she judges me for this, you know? Like,
Will she still be my mom?
will my mom
Will she
hate
punish
me?
me?
You know, so like, just as an example, I think that's a reason why a lot of actors aren't comfortable. Like, they aren't comfortable doing it. And to tell you the truth, the first day we did Call of Cthulhu, I wasn't sure how far we were going to go. I became really quiet. I'm a very observant person when I go into an ambiguous situation. I watch, I see what happens, and then I feel more comfortable to do something. And Brian is one of the other guys, part of the group, and his wife, Anna, both of them immediately into character. Like, immediately, and I was just like, oh crap, it's going down. And I was like, all right, let's do it. Still took me like about the second episode, like the second game that we played, to like really get into the character, but it was just at a comfort level, because it's not like you're being handed a script and there is like, you know, it's all improv and you're put in, it's like having an entire long form improv where you know your character and you have your backstory, but the situations that are presented to you are all new. So you're walking into a situation as your character, and it's like,
It's so much more authentic.
yeah,
It seems.
because at a certain point, part of you merges with your character, like, because there's no way around it, because you can't constantly be in another person 100% of the time.
Because then it just looks like a shell of the facade of what you're putting on something instead of actually being it.
Yeah. And I think, that's how I approach characters anyways. I tend to try to bring a truth to it based on my own reality. So like, I'll look at a script and it could be something that's so far off of like who I am. But like, if I look at it and go, like for instance, it's like totally against typecasting, but I played a mean girl. And like, vicious.
Is this in your reel? Because I stalked you online.
Yes.
And I looked at all your stuff. Is this when you're in the bathroom?
Yeah, it's like it's supposed to be a basement.
Is it a basement? Right. And you're blonde?
Yep.
Okay. I love that. Yes.
Yeah, but like, I never went out for, until I was blonde, really. I never really went out for any kind of mean girl type rules. Like even now, like, it's like best friend and, girlfriend and, girl next door, and which I'm totally cool with, by the way. Totally
There's
cool.
so few girl next door parts.
I know. God. Gosh darn it.
Shoot.
Darn it. This is just really sucky. Yeah, so with the mean girl thing, it was like, I just connected with the character. It was like one of those where I was like, this is mine. Because it was fun and it was different. And I was like, yeah, I get to be the antagonist. This is exciting. I get to be the evil person.
Well, it was I believe it was the first clip in your reel.
Something. Yeah, I think so.
Because I'm so glad it was, because not saying everything follows as crap. I'm not saying that. I thought it was like, you definitely
I'm realistic.
I really loved the beginning. It was such a strong entrance into it. And I was expecting like another mean role to pop up, because I was like, she did a great job. But then I was like, oh, well, now there's this comedy and this kind of like this weird quirky comedy. and I'm very impressed with it does seem like a variety. And also you have a variety of hair colors, which I think is really cool. And it does kind of changes really like how to view you. Is I think maybe the blonde does kind of give off of like a little like bitch.
Yeah, it was, but what's funny is until I got that role, though, I never really even got those roles. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Weirdly, after that, I got a lot more, especially once I had that clip, too. Even as a brunette, I can now go out for it because I have a clip showing where I can go with it.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, I'm not a mean person. I mean, unless I'm yelling at drivers that are cutting me off.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
I'm generally a very nice person, and at least I think so. And yeah, it was hard. It was really hard, like to be like that. I mean, the whole short, it doesn't have it in my reel, but in the short, I actually like get very angry. It was after the clip that's in there, and I go and get like a dildo and like basically choke this girl with it.
What?
Which sounds...
Why is that not in your reel?
Because it's not like actually shot on me. It's a really interesting like one, because it was all a one shot. All of
That's
that,
a very
the entire
mean
short.
girl. Oh my God.
Yeah, but like I snapped, and so the thing is like, you know, it's not like the typical Mean Girls type mean girl. Mm-hmm. Because, like, yeah, like, that's more of a comedy. This is definitely someone who is mean and a bully and horrible.
And kind of psychotic.
Yeah, yeah, but, I mean, the only way that I could connect with the character is to bring it down to that base level of insecurity and fear.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, that fear of losing my position of power to this girl who is clearly, like, threatening it. So... when I got down to that level, it was very easy to tap into. But I will say, like, in between takes, I have to, like, I go out of character. I have to. It's the only way, you know, I keep in touch with me. Mm-hmm. But, like, it was hard to, like, then go from, like, because after a few takes, it changes the dynamic of the people that are acting with you. And they know you're acting, but at a certain point, in your subconscious, it gets in, you know, it does. You can't always separate yourself. So I found myself trying to be like me, guys. I'm sorry. I'm a horrible person.
You're helping to clean up after the shoot.
Yeah. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm not this way. And I found myself trying to, you know, be very insistent that I wasn't like that. And I was like, whoa, this is it's so weird. It's such a weird thing. And the one thing I will say is I kind of wish that I did isolate myself from that.
Between takes?
Yes, only because, and not that I've said, I think that it deterred from my performance by any way, but I'm kind of curious from an experimental standpoint what that would have done to me. That's a weird masochistic kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was just next time. You know?
Next time I'm a bitch.
Yes.
But it is a testament to your abilities if you are feeling the people around you have a response to, what you're essentially doing and is, being dominant and being mean, which, you're absolutely right. It's everybody has the ability to be mean, and it always comes from that place of weakness or fear.
Yeah.
And if people just play mean, they're not doing it right.
No.
So I definitely, I think probably having that approach coming from there, other people could feel how real it was.
Well,
and we're
especially,
oh God.
It's so funny because one of the insults that this girl says to me before I do something horrible else to her, the girl, I felt so bad for her because she pretty much got the brunt of most of the bad
Did
stuff.
they really show
Yeah. Oh yeah, but she was. It's so funny. She was like, "Yeah, please, just do what you need to do." I'm like, when the camera is not on us, I'm not going to do that. Put this in your mouth. I know you want it to be real, but trust me, after 10 takes of this, you are not going to want this in your mouth anymore. It's so funny because it sounds so sexual, but when you see it, oh God.
Well, it is. A dildo is there.
Yeah, exactly. The dildos were it was a hazing ritual is what it was about. Oh. So they had headbands that had dildos that smacked them in the face. So it's kind of comedic, but...
Can you buy these somewhere?
No, they actually sewed it on. So it was
So
handmade.
this set made them.
Yep, they made them.
Was this from like anyone's personal experience, or did they come up with
I
this?
think it was actually.
Whoa.
Because it was based on a soccer team, and apparently this girl was part of a D1 soccer team.
Of course, it's a soccer team.
Yeah, and it was a college soccer team, and they were really intense about it. And I don't find it surprising. I knew in college that we had all these underground frats that were like not part of the Greek system. They were underground. And like, I remember classmates, my dorm mates getting woken up at 2-3 in the morning. They made them chug like whole entire fifths of alcohol and then running like a mile. And like, no one died that year, thank God. But like, it's a serious problem. And that's part of the reason why I did it, is because like this kind of hazing still exists, and it's still a thing, and it's not good. And I mean, when I watched the premiere of it at Independent Reel, I think, one of those short ones.
Within LA?
Short festivals. I'm the worst at remembering these things.
One of those things.
It was like a year ago. My memory is poor. But I'm really glad we were last in our segment, only because it's very uncomfortable to watch, but in a good way.
It probably is meant to be. Absolutely, yeah.
And it's shocking, and it's just like, holy shit. But it's well shot, it's well acted, and it just leaves you like, the entire theater was silent. And we got like a great applause and everything, but the entire theater went silent. Because that's how hardcore, like, when I describe it to people, all the guys are like, oh, that sounds hot. And I'm like, oh, God, stop being like fucking children. It was not hot to film at all. I actually was.
There's a message.
There's a message. I'm a horrible person. That's what it is. Anyways.
I can't believe that. I mean, I very much avoided sororities. I know that in high school we had, I forget what they were called. There was some sibilance to it. There were like the soccer six, the sexy soccer six or something, where these girls, I mean, they didn't haze each other or anything. If anything, we were probably bullies to them because we gave them that name. But there was very much this like intense groupness with soccer. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it astonishes me when I hear about what they do with hazing still.
Excuse me, sorry. I think it's from my work on that, because I didn't play soccer, and I never really did team sports. I was a dancer, and then, did loads of dancing in different styles, and then I ran track. So I was part of a team, but it was mostly individual feats that were like praised. So it was kind of like no team sports, although I really wish I did. I think the thing is, from the hazing, is it's kind of you get it so bad, but it brings you together. So it makes you and everyone else suffering go, like, all of a sudden you have a link together. You have a common thread.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. You just made it make total sense to me.
But even the people inflicting it on them, they are also bonding with them. They're bonding with these people because they're the only ones that know what's going on. Then once they make it past it, and there's kind of this sense of accomplishment, because then everyone else accepts them. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this was a good thing. I did a good thing by like throwing up loads amounts of alcohol and like doing really random physical exercises with dildos on my head. This is great. I have accomplished things. And then it becomes, oh, you know what? Those freshmen, when I'm a senior, they're going to get it even worse. You know, it's kind of like this whole entire cyclical nature of it. And it's just disgusting. Because there are other ways to do team building. I mean, you can see it in the whole entire tech business world, really. Like, they do. It's kind of a joke. I think, no, I'm not saying that that's a joke. Like it's, I'm just saying
Apple is a joke.
My brother works for Apple.
Oh gosh.
But I don't think they do team building there, but I've just heard of like certain like tech startups doing like team building to bring their team together. And like, it's, I agree with certain aspects of it, but I think to a certain extent, I don't know. I think there's always better ways.
There's definitely there's all these apps now, like scavenger hunt app for like, and I there's definitely kind of a market for it now. But to loop this back into acting as well, though, it's kind of interesting because we have the job of being so utterly comfortable with somebody and connecting with them, and we don't get to go on that scavenger hunt or go on that, company retreat where we go on those, like zip lines.
It would be, I'm going to say this right now, I don't think that would work in our industry very well.
Oh, no.
A trip, could you imagine? Like, the shit that would go down? Like, I'm just
going to be active? I just want to feel.
Well, it's like, I want to feel, I'm going to cry, and I'm going to hug you. Oh, if we sleep together, okay, then so be it.
That's why cast parties within high school and college were just like the ultimate. I mean, so many babies could have been, were made at cast parties.
Babies. Hashtag cast babies.
Yeah, cast babies. Oh, God.
Oh, God. Fortunately, I mean, I came into acting a bit later. I would have been a little scared if I went the theater route, just based on
so
my
you
own.
were starting with dancing.
Oh, yeah. I did ballet, jazz, and tap for about 10 years. And then in college, I basically got injured my senior year and then for high school. And then in college, I got into ballroom dancing and did that competitively for about 6 years. Yeah. So that was a
cool
whole other thing. And yeah.
So then what made the switch to, I mean, they're very related, but what made the switch to acting besides injury or I mean, because you could have done anything else if you wanted.
Well, I did have a degree in psychology. There were so many things that I could have done. I could have gone back to school. I'm sure my parents would have loved that, But I just knew basically my dance partner and I split after a year and a half of dancing together. And at that point, dancing to me just it was less about art, more about replicating what someone else was doing. In ballroom dancing competitively, I was doing the Latin style, so everything was kind of be more like this couple that's top in the world. You need to be faster. You need to be like this, and like you had no ability to. I agree with creating foundational technique, but beyond that, I think you should be able to create your own style, and it just wasn't a thing. It was just.
There seems to be more sport than art, even though there's both in it.
Yes, exactly. And I think it just started to lose what drew me to it. And my relationship with my dance partner, granted, I wasn't 100% the best dance partner for him either. Like, he wasn't the greatest person to me. He was condescending, and it was not a great relationship. I hope he never listens to this.
I hope he does, and he knows that he's a dick.
I'm sure
I don't even
he's
know
a
him,
good
but I trust you.
as I said, I was not the perfect person either. I was a very emotional person. I was going through like I had zero coping skills, that type of thing. I was young, not the greatest person. But at the same time, it was not the best partnership for us. So after that, I was just like, I was looking for dance partners. I went out actually to Belarus, Minsk in Belarus.
What?
I know, yeah. I flew out there to try out with a dance partner. And that went well. I was going to train with him. I was actually going to move to Belarus for about a few months to train. And I'm not even going to give you the long story, short story. I just felt it was not right. Mm-hmm. Something was saying no. There was like that general feeling of like, this is not right. And I had never listened to that kind of stuff before, but this was like the first time I was like, okay, I'm going to listen to you now. So I was a bit lost for a while, which is how the whole getting into drinking, creating drinking friends happened. Because I was really lost. I was like, it's not right to go back to school. I have no idea what I want to do right now. I'm living in LA. That's when I moved to LA, actually. It was the end of that period of time. And I moved to North Hollywood, actually. And then, I was just fucking around, excuse my language, but that's what I was doing.
Please swear at time because I will.
I was just fucking around, and then the dance studio that I worked at, they had a commercial that booked the space because it's a beautiful space. They booked it for a national commercial, and they needed ballroom dancers as like background. And I was like, you know what? I don't have a headshot, but I'm just going to do it. Like, why not? You know? So my friend Shelby took headshots of me that were like amazing, and I submitted and I actually got it, which was amazing. Awesome. And I woke up at like 5 a.m, got to set. It was my first time ever on a set, and it was just cool. You know, I was like, I don't know what's going on, but like, okay, I'm feeling this out. And, got on set, saw the entire like setup of the lights and the camera, and I was really nervous because I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't want to,
It's like it's your first
gig. Much. And I wasn't really planning on getting into that. I was actually very proud of not being an actor in LA.
Oh gosh.
I know, it was like this whole thing. So I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. And then I, danced and danced, all these different takes. 4.5 hours later, it was a really short spot, or a short segment of a spot. And like, we were done. And I was like, wow, that was a really cool experience. I was very interested in how everything was set up. And once I saw the final commercial too, I was like, whoa, this is really cool.
What was it a commercial for, may I ask?
Oh gosh, it was like some healthcare company. This was like 4 years ago. This is before I actually count when I started dancing, acting. Because like at the time I wasn't serious about it. I was just, testing the waters, which I think, I'm pretty lucky actually. Looking back, I'm like, that was a pretty fortunate experience. But, I can't remember. It was Sutter Healthcare. Boom. There we are. And,
I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah, it was several vignettes, and it's like without a partner or something like that, or something about partners. And so the principal in it is actually a guy I know, and he's an actor as well, but a dancer. And it was about like, ballroom dancer dancing alone, and like, oh, you need a partner, and partner with us kind of thing.
And you're like, no, I had a partner and he's a dick.
He's a dick. Sorry.
So I'm good.
Sorry, not sorry. So it basically just led me to then try a class. So I tried Brian Reese's audition, well, not audition, it's cold read class. Mm-hmm. And he's amazing. If you need to do a cold read class, or you need to work up on like audition technique, I would definitely say go to that class. I wouldn't have stayed there as long as I did had I known, but I stayed there for about over a year. But with that, like, I would recommend a few months. But it really, like, you go in, you have like 10 to 15 minutes to work on a like 1-page scene, and it'll be from television or a recent film, and you learn it quick, and then you go and you perform it. And it's different things for every week. So there'll be an on-camera day once every month and a half, roughly. Then there'll be like blocking, or there'll be like a network executive day, and like different types of things. But it really is it's just a cool thing. So once I did that, it was like so out of my comfort zone. My first class was actually on camera blocking and cold read. So it was oh God, I'm horrible. Ally McBeal? I don't know. Whatever that young...
A lawyer show? Some lawyer show.
Oh, no, it was a detective one. Oh, God, I'm the worst.
Law and Order SVU.
It was a young adult one back from, like, the 2000s. Like, it would have been airing at the same time as Buffy.
Was it popular, or was it like
popular?
It was very popular shit.
Don't worry about it. So anyways,
I'm so curious.
The scene is, like, me holding a flashlight, but you had to walk zigzag and follow the camera and look certain ways, and, like, that was my first class ever, and I was just like, I did it.
You jumped into all of it at once.
I did, and but once I did it, I was like, whoa, I like this. What is this feeling? This is cool. So, it really took a few months of that class for me to be like, yes, I like acting. I love this. I can't imagine doing anything else. And that's pretty much it. Like, from then on, like, it's literally finding my purpose. Like, it seems I've done so many different things. I feel like at this point, I know, like, I have other interests, sure, but this is like the thing. And I can't imagine doing anything else. So that's like, my parents were very sad to hear that, but it is what it is.
And they're all very sad. My mom is very proud, and I'm not sure why. I think she's a little mentally ill. 'Cause she's like, you're going to do so well. And I'm like, be like the other moms. God. But I mean, I find it so, I know there are plenty of actors that have come from dancing, but as someone who, maybe I could dance, but isn't as, I've been told I'm not that graceful. So I didn't know this. Others told me. And, but I do find it interesting, like the use of space and movement. And it's such an important part, even when you're just doing blocking and trying to follow the camera. Like, I think there's something that as a dancer, you are in tune with balancing several things at once and keeping it so effortless.
Oh God, I really wish that were true for me. You know what I mean?
I'm wrong.
I think there are some dancers that are they're good at that. I am very much a thinker type of person. Like, I'm an analytical, very thinker type person.
Well, like you said, you wanted to change it up, or the dancing was so technical, and you wanted the more creativity involved.
Yeah. Well, I think this one amazing part about acting that drew me to it as well is there is no right or wrong. Yeah. And being someone who's constantly trying to obtain perfection with my dancing, it was very difficult because there was always something wrong, and people will tell you you're wrong. And that's what was frustrating, is there was again, I think technique is very, very important with dancing, and 100% very important, but there is no freedom to even add stylistic parts to it when you're starting out. And that's where I was like, it was just difficult. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, no. Because I have a friend who dances, and he has done competitive ballroom as well, and he works out every day, and he's just, I don't think he's a very creative person, but he is just so technical, and that's how he does so well within the dancing world, because he's just so precise.
Yes.
It's intimidating.
Oh yeah. My friends that are ballroom dancers, that's the routine. You're constantly training and getting it perfect, and I think for me as a person, that striving for perfection was a very negative thing for me and stifling. So with acting, when I heard, in Brian's class actually, it was not about being perfect. There is no right or wrong. It's your choice. Mm-hmm. And some choices are better than others because they play better. But like, your choice for a character is going to be very different from my choice. And at the same time, we look very different. So if we were to make the same choice, it wouldn't look right. Mm-hmm. Because your voice is different, your look is different, your personality is different. So yeah, there shouldn't be a right or wrong. It's your interpretation. And that to me was like such a great thing to hear. It was so freeing. And I didn't have to, we're all our harshest critics. I still am pretty bad about like looking back and being like, whoa, like being like, I could have done that and that and that. And
me too. I have to wait 6 months before that's a lie. I do watch myself, but because I have to see it, because I have to know. But I always hate it. And 6 months later, I watch it again. I'm like, when I forget what I was thinking or trying to do, months later, and I watch it, I'm like, you know what? I guess I could keep doing this. I guess I'm not going to win any awards anytime soon, but this is okay. But
I think that's healthy, though. I think if you're constantly striving to better yourself, I think if you're constantly learning, like you never stagnate.
Yeah. Well, my boyfriend is his biggest critic. He has this weird thing where he thinks he's the best person in the world, but he also hates himself a lot. It's very complicated. And a part of me doesn't want to encourage him because whenever he does something right, because I love how he hates what he does and he always strives to make it better, because that's how you keep working hard and perfecting without ever reaching perfection. It's a slippery slope, but it's, I do get I'll get irritated in a class or when I'm here. This happened in a lot of the classes that I took where, you just had a teacher that was like, that was great. That was great. You were really into it. And everything was great. But, or there were classes where it was just like, I think I had a teacher once who was like, I don't know what just happened.
Oh my God.
She was a bitch. So there's two sides of it, and there's a nice middle road where you get great constructive criticism because you're playing a human, which is not perfect, and you get to make the choices like you were saying. But at the same time, we're trying to figure out the best. I think it's more so accessing our own creativity as opposed to finding the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Because I've found my best choices, or I feel like my best work has occurred once I've kind of shut everybody out and trusted the choice that I came to.
Yep.
And I guess that's the commitment, confidence aspect.
Yeah, no, it is. And your instinct is usually correct. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, sometimes you need to work it.
Yeah.
So like by the time that you get back to your original thing, by working it a bunch of different ways, you get back to your original gut instinct. It'll be a different transformation of it.
Yeah.
It'll be more grounded. It'll be like something that has more, because I think when you try something for the first time, it's not even, you may be as committed as possible, but because like it's there's always a bit of like you're holding back. There's like a bit of self-doubt, and there's a bit of like, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but
no, I think for most people, some people you see it more than others, but there's always there has to be, unless I guess you're doing it for so many years that you're tired and you don't even care anymore. But
I mean, there are some people that don't have that natural like
that they like know what. Oh, they don't have the instinct.
There's been a few classes.
Oh gosh, oh yes. No, my favorite, well, it's not my favorite question, but I want to know if there was an actor, I think it's on one of the things I wrote, if there was an actor, working now, dead now, whatever, and this is your safe space to shit on somebody.
Oh.
And it doesn't have to be your friend. I mean more like a celebrity.
Yeah.
You get to shit on a celebrity who you think is like, why are you acting? You should just have been an accountant.
Oh, I may get a lot of flack for this, but Scarlett Johansson.
Boom! I agree with that. I'm waiting for ones that I don't agree with and being okay with it when people will come and give me their answer. I mean, my answer, I think, I'm not sure that you'll agree with it. Many people, I don't think, would agree with it. But every time I watch Andrew Garfield, I want to kill a child. He makes me so mad. And I couldn't watch that Mel Gibson movie. It was Hacksaw Ridge. I couldn't watch it. And I feel so mean about it, but
it's okay. I think a lot of it is the reason you're probably turned off is because you can see that they're using tools to act.
Yeah, he's like, a big tool.
That it's like, well, besides that, no, just like, I don't know, one of my acting coaches said like, oh, you look like you're working hard. Like, so like in which you think, it's not that they don't understand acting or anything like that, but they're so used to not having any grounded truth to what they do that they just rely upon their tools of acting to create an empty shell that at least gives mostly an appearance that you can't judge.
Oh yeah. And I think a lot of people come out of acting school with, I know I did. I came out of I don't know if I should give my school away. It's on my shirt. You can see it. You know the secret.
Yes.
Because I don't want to shit on my school. But I came out of the school and I had all these tools and lost my instinct and lost my just kind of rawness because I was blueprinting my acting so that it was effortless in a bad way where I can just walk into a room and be like, well, my intention is this. And my background is this. And since I did that, I don't have to do anything. And now I mean, as much as I still use those tools, there is something that's, I don't know if you find that there's something that you kind of always had that you now use.
I mean, it's a little different for me because I didn't go to an actual school, like for a theater program.
Don't go to an actual school.
I think that you can learn a lot of lessons just in classes out here. And I think, I mean, there's a lot of people that might not agree with me on that. But I think what you're saying is, like, I think it's very important to have your tool set, but you have to reconnect back to yourself.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
And, you know, again, it just depends on your what school of thought you're coming from, too. Because, you know, there are some actors that are like, no, I am traditional. There is no part of me that you're going to see. I am going to give you a shell, and it's going to be a mask, and that I'm acting, and I am being another person.
I feel like that's very. I feel like while we're very methody here in the U.S. and then it's you know, in the UK there's a lot of acting that's still very classical.
Yep.
But they're so great, and it's almost like, it almost seems like they have these amazing tools, but they also still can have this like raw, real emotion. Like, what are we doing wrong?
Well, firstly, I'd like to say that they have a very different environment out there.
True.
They have a lot more supportive nature. Society doesn't look at them like they're fucking off with their life, you know?
Yep.
That, you know, it's actually like a career choice, and you can go to school for it. You study hard, but you're constantly working. You know, you're doing plays and you're doing films, but you're constantly, it's all about your craft and acting and working. You're an actor. And I actually like really, really want to go study over there, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Just the respect is very different. You know, I'm sure there are, you know, the same starving artist thing happens, but it's obviously it's still a thing. But
yeah, here it feels like there's somebody who can just jump out of their bed and be like, I'm an actor today. Exactly. And then they will, if they have the money and can do it, they'll just spend all this time on classes and a bunch of headshots, and bada bing, bada boom, they're a professional actor now. Whereas, I think you're right. Over there, it's taken much more seriously. Well,
and especially because I didn't go to a school, and I didn't jump out of bed and be like, I actually struggled with it for a few months and was like, do I really want to do this? It did, but that is a thing. Like, it took this long for people to finally take me seriously. Because up until now, it's been like, oh, well, you've only been acting for a year or two. This is just a hobby for you. You'll quit. Oh. You know, it's so like different. It's so different over there too. And I don't like, I haven't been through their schooling, so I don't know where the difference is. But I think there's a serious nature to it. And I think out here, because like there's a lot of younger actors that, you know, maybe they have been acting for a really long time, but they're like, oh, I don't need to do school. I just need to, you know, I am great. I just need to be the character.
Oh, yeah. I hate when someone doesn't even consider a class because they just automatically assume from the get-go. I mean, maybe you're someone who takes a class or two and realizes like it's not for you. Okay. But if you're going to do something, like I'm going to be a welder, but you know what? I think I know how to weld. I don't need to learn anything. I don't need to take a class. I just have faith in myself. No, I don't. I think it's just so egotistical, I guess.
Yeah,
it's not even egotistical, because you could hate yourself and still do that, but you're delusional to think that.
It's delusion, but I think it's a lack of respect.
Yeah,
as well, but that goes to show you the society that we're in right here. Mm-hmm. Like where someone can wake up and be like, I'm gonna do that acting thing. I don't know if anyone's ever said, like, oh, like.
Well, it just, I think like it's a hobby.
You know what? I think I'm gonna be an actor. Like, I've actually heard
Tuesday.
They quit in 2 years, by the way. Like it doesn't take long, because they don't realize, like, you know how you're saying for advice and stuff like that. Like I always say, patience. It takes minimum, and like obviously it's different for everyone, but minimum 5 to 15 years to get any kind of forward momentum.
And I think that's why a lot of them drop off, whether after school or after a couple of years, and when they don't see the success immediately, it's like, well, I'm done. Like, I guess I just didn't, and they go back to.
Well, and and exactly,
and that's fine. I actually have friends who are talented, wonderful, and they studied, and they did realize that it was something that they didn't want to do.
That's different, though.
Yeah,
That's
it's
very
like
different.
It's not delusional. It's just kind of like discovering and learning about yourself and what you want. Whereas the other is just kind of like, you didn't really think about this before you started.
You just thought you were attractive and that it would work out for you because you wanted fame and money.
What's sad is there are people that did just wake up and say, you know what, I look great. And then they get an agent, and now they're Chris Hemsworth.
Ooh,
although I like him, but
I only thought he was pretty when he was in the first Star Trek.
He was in Star Trek?
Yes.
I haven't seen the Star Trek movies yet.
It's the first one of the new the new series that they just came out with. The third one, I think. Star Trek Beyond is the third, but he was in the first one.
What?
He was Chris Pine's dad. And he's in the first scene. Yeah. And I know the exact moment I saw it. I was in college.
I know when we met.
And I was watching it, and I was like, that guy is hot. And I was like squealing. I don't squeal very often, but when I do.
This is squeal worthy.
Squeal worthy. And then I was like getting my roommate, I was like, Sarah, look him up. Look at him. He's gorgeous. He's Australian and he's gorgeous.
My friend Hannah loves him. And I kind of feel like don't ever hear her say that about an actor or anything too much. And so when I had an opportunity to go to a screening where he was at a Q&A afterwards, I showed up early. I brought her. We sat in the front row. And I never approached the actors afterwards because I always feel so weird about it. But I needed to. So Chris Hemsworth is the only actor I've ever approached. And literally grabbed him as he's like trying to go through the doorway. And I'm like, I want you to take a picture with my friend. And he was so nice. And he stands next to her. And like they did the weird thing where like arms weren't, they were just standing
side by
right
side.
Side by side. And I got the picture and Hannah was happy. And then I thought, man, like I wish I couldn't do that for myself, for my super crush actor. Do you have a super crush actor?
Oh, my husband is very judgy about me, but it's James McAvoy.
Oh, yes.
Yes, right? Thank God.
Yes. Agreed.
He thought I was so weird about it.
Oh, no.
Do you want to know what did it for me? Oh, God, I'm going to sound... I now realize how nerdy I'm going to sound. It was seeing him in X-Men First Class playing... But I realized it's... I don't think if I were to meet him, I'd be attracted to him.
Yeah.
I think
maybe it's how he comes off.
It's his... Any person who is good at acting and has a great character, like Benedict Cumberbatch, but only as Sherlock. Only.
I totally get... I'm trying to think. There was an actor who I was like, you look like a butt. And then I saw him act, and I was just like, oh, I want him. Who was it? I don't think I'm going to remember. But you're so right. Like, once I see them act, and and they're good at it, I'm like so attracted to them. Maybe Ralph Fiennes. I've always loved Ralph Fiennes. He just looked like an old guy to me. And then I even as Voldemort, I wanted him. But James McAvoy, I feel like James McAvoy is one that a lot of girls love, and a lot of guys don't understand why we love him.
This is literally, I am the only one out of all my friends that actually is, like, I'm talking
They're
like...
lying to you.
I don't get, like, celebrity crushes ever. And he's on my list. He's on my list.
I gotta make my list.
There's a list, and like Carl, my husband, doesn't think it's very fair because it's more than likely that, you know, I'll meet my list.
Oh, that's great.
As opposed to him meeting his list, and I was like, well, sorry.
Sucks for you.
Darn. James, if you're listening, you're on my list.
Your kisses on my lips. I listened to that song today. Sorry, so I just needed to
Just get it
break one
out.
out. I need to get it out.
Oh my God.
But yeah, he's a good one. I forgot. I kind of forgot about him because he hasn't been around. He's done the X-Men movies, but he hasn't done anything.
He hasn't done anything outside of that, and I'm sure he has, but you know, because of this industry and what actually make it to like wide releases is very few and far between.
I have been obsessed with Ewan McGregor since I was 11.
Oh my God.
But I feel like that just died recently because
Why?
he can't do a French accent in Beauty and the Beast. And I can't watch the trailers because it's so, my ears bleed and I'm just like, Ewan. And I mean, I get he's Scottish and it's probably really hard to go Scottish to French, but it's so bad.
That movie in itself, I'm sorry if this is blasphemous, but I'm really not feeling it.
Oh my God, thank you. Me too. Me too.
I'm not going to see it. I'll listen to all y'all's like opinions, but beyond that, I'm good.
I have so many issues with it, but God bless you to whoever wants to see it and spend the money on it. Go for it.
Can I just bring up Ewan McGregor in Big Fish?
Oh yes.
I forgot I had a crush on him too, but Moulin Rouge as well. That one did it. But I heard somewhere that he was gay.
What?
And only...
Oh, no. I know... Well,
yes,
go ahead.
I only recently heard that was false. So I went years just being like, he's untouchable, to now just being... Not like because of that, but just because like... I respect your choices. Like, I don't want to like you if you won't be into me, you know? Oh, God, that's horrible. But
it does make me mad when they're gorgeous and gay. Like, I'll never forgive Matt Bomber.
I was never just about to bring him up. Oh, my God. Sorry, that was a bit loud, a bit high-pitched. Because I watched, oh, my God. When I saw him in White Collar, White Collar, right? I was just like, damn, like, you fine. And then in Magic Mike, I was like, yeah. And then I saw the article, and I was like, no.
Wait, what?
The article saying he's gay.
Oh, I thought it was a movie he was in called The Article. I'm
no.
renting now.
No, and I found out, and I was like, I almost, like, I got... So when earlier when I said I don't get really celebrity crushes, I'm now realizing that I do. So this is a great realization
We lie to
moment.
ourselves.
We lie to ourselves. I think it's only because, like, I don't actively think about them until I start to think about them.
Yeah. No, I agree. I always will have Ewan McGregor as the one to really kind of answer with an answer, but then as people bring others, like you brought up James McAvoy, I'm like, oh yeah. He's I gotta make that list. I gotta have a actual like sticky note on my computer list because I will forget all of them.
I'm just so afraid to. Oh, okay. So when I was a little girl, 13 to be specific, I had a very interesting dream about Chad Michael Murray.
Oh my God, Chad.
Yes. Okay, thank God you know. Because I bring it up and people are like, who? And I'm like, you don't even know.
The only Chad that matters.
Right? Oh my God. Like, so, like, that was like first major celebrity crush. Like, I wasn't into the Hansons or... whatever the Michael Taylor guy, whatever.
Michael Taylor. Was he one of the Hansons?
No. Like
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas, whatever.
JTT.
I don't even know. My friends were so into that, and I was like, no. But I was actually more into the anime dude on Sailor Moon at that time period.
Cartoons can be really hot.
Yeah, and he was really great. And then Chad Michael Murray burst on the scene right when hormones were raging, you know? So I was like, you are a sexy beast. And, he married my friend's roommate.
What?
And my friend was like, hey, come over to my house, blah, blah, blah. And, like, my friend knew that story about me when I was 13 having a dream. And
wait, so what happened in this dream?
Sexy things happened. Sexy things happened. So... I get to my friend's house, and I was waiting. I had a boyfriend at the time, and I was waiting for them to get there. And I show up, and they're on a date, and they're like in the kitchen, hanging out. And this is the kicker, though. My good friend drunkenly told him that he was like my first wet dream.
Oh my God.
So I get, like, which is like, I'm dying on the inside, and they know, both of them think it's like endearing, and I can just tell, and I'm talking to them, I'm trying to be normal, and like, I'm just like, like, first of all, like, I'm kind of having an inner freak out because it's Chad Michael Murray right there. Secondly, I'm like going, oh, he knows.
Oh my God.
Because they both like were kind of smiling to each other. They knew. And I was like, this is probably equally embarrassing. And also, I'm really proud of myself for not having a full-blown freak out. But they're really nice. They're married. They just had their second kid. It's great. It's awesome.
Don't make him sound nice. No.
No, he actually is quite lovely.
Don't make him seem normal.
He's great. But I realized my crush was gone, and it was great.
Oh,
I know.
that's nice.
I was 13 when I like had a huge crush, but it was just a very weird moment of having someone know something really personal about you, and you're meeting them for the first time, and you had a huge crush on them, and you're
it's
just
like in
whoa.
high school or middle school where, you know, Jesse told Steven that you like him, except it's Chad Michael Murray. And that's so much more intense. It's so funny you bring him up because this story is so not epic and so not on the same level as yours. But for some reason, I thought when I go to LA, I'm going to see, I guess the one person I would want to see is Chad Michael Murray. And this was 5 years ago when I first came to LA for a few months when I was partly in school. And sure enough, and it was weird, I think I saw maybe like Dennis Quaid in the 7 months that I was here, but I didn't see anybody else. So I'm like, you just left me with Dennis Quaid? That's not much. I want to see the stars. And sure enough, in Studio City, I'm at a crosswalk, and Chad Michael Murray is there with his wife, girlfriend, whoever she was at the time. And I just remember standing there being like, well, I need to go this way, but he's going that way. Should I just go that way too and pretend to be where he is for a reason? And it's just so weird because I never thought of, it's almost like I knew I would see this actor or this one person who wasn't necessarily my favorite actor or anything, but absolutely was my One Tree Hill middle school crush.
He was the only one, really.
He was I can't tell you how long that I stared at the Cinderella story poster seething in anger. The Hillary Duff is on his back in a piggyback thing, and I'm like, you don't deserve him.
You don't deserve him.
But I also really liked Aaron Carter, which was a mistake.
My sister was fond of him.
Really?
Yeah. I wasn't down, but my sister loved him.
It was such a short period of time that I loved him, and now I don't know why I did. I do know all the lyrics to Aaron's Party, though.
It's okay. I had to listen to that a bunch too because of my sister. Okay. But I can relate. I did know. I can't promise that I know the words now, but I knew them.
The song at least.
I wouldn't be very surprised if drunkenly I would know that song. Because I don't know about you, but when I drunken karaoke with my friends once in a while, I just all of a sudden I'm like, oh hey, I actually know the words to that. Like, I didn't know I did. This is great.
I always have the wrong lyrics to things. Like I'm positive that I know. I mean, at this point, I did look up the lyrics once I thought I knew the lyrics, and I'm like, I need to make sure that these are the right words I'm saying. So I looked them up for Aaron. But otherwise, I make up my own lyrics. I can't tell you how many lyrics I've made up for Prince because I don't know what he's saying most of the time. But it doesn't matter because most of it's just.
That was really great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I also listened to him too today. This is just going to be, what did Melina listen to in the car today on the way home?
Songs by Melina.
Songs by, you never want to hear me sing. Oh, can you sing, by the way?
I'm currently just started taking vocal lessons.
Ooh.
It's only because I worked at a music school for a brief period of time, and that just ended. But I just decided I'm gonna do it, and it wasn't on my priority list to do because I have like a list of like the lessons that I want to do this year, kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because skills.
I got that too. I got martial arts. I still have to try to do that.
Yeah, me too. That's all there too.
Don't we all?
And the first lesson, I didn't even know where my vocal cords were. I kind of had a general idea of the region. I knew nothing about them.
Anything either.
It was like,
where are they?
They're like in here, but they're two flaps of skin. And they kind of look like a vagina, but not really. Yeah. But yeah, that's what's interesting. So I learned so much information, and it's cool. Because, like, the sound actually comes from the breath from your diaphragm passing through the lips. Mm-hmm. And the pitches are changed because of the muscles in your neck. So it was just really fascinating because, one, I don't breathe properly, I learned. Two, I may need to get my throat or, like, get scoped because...
an endoscopy. I got one recently, yeah.
Yeah, because my voice is raspy. And... yeah, that like I also don't talk at my proper pitch. I tend to, when I get tired, I'm not doing it right now, kind of doing it a little bit, but I tend to talk at a lower pitch when I'm tired because I get lazy. I also talk lower for authority, which is something that we do out here in America. And we tend to do, I learned vocal fry to end our sentences. So that like sound right there that I'm like, to end a sentence.
Or you go like that. Oh.
So, like, that's all not very good. And also breathing the smog is not very good either. So there's, like, a number of reasons. But she was like, you should probably get it checked out just to rule out anything. I don't think you have any polyps, but you should check it out. And I'm like, I suddenly realized, oh, crap, like, my voice really is important to what we do, like, acting-wise. So it's about damn time I start taking care of it, right? So that's where we are. And have I learned to actually sing yet? No. I can't say I'm the best singer, and I'm so self-conscious about singing that I have to be ridiculously drunk karaokeing. Like,
but you're learning and you're getting there.
And you're gonna do it.
That's one that's so technical, and another one that you got to be so patient with. I feel like I have not been patient with it, and my voice is terrible just talking, so I don't know why I started a podcast.
Your voice sounds good to me.
It's okay, but I definitely squish it into my throat, and my breath is terrible. I tried running today, and it turned into a long walk.
That sounds about
every workout, running in general. So it's just my breath is really bad. So I don't think I don't have the vocal stamina, that's for sure. I do think everybody has the ability to sing, I think. But it is such, I mean, I'm just telling what people already know. I mean, it's an instrument that you gotta train over time. So yeah.
I mean, I'm learning it now.
Yeah. So and that's smart because a lot of actors avoid it like me.
Yeah, but I mean, I would have avoided it too. It was just circumstances that, like, I just happened to be working somewhere and I was like, well, why not? Like, why not do it? I would never have done it otherwise. To tell you the truth, it's not on my priority list at all.
What is?
Martial arts.
Martial arts. Yes, it is.
Only because I really want to do action films.
Ditto. I want to be Laura Croft.
I want to be, Mia Jovovich.
Ooh, in anything? Or in she's great.
Come on, Fifth Element.
Yeah.
You have Resident Evil.
I love
series.
all Resident Evils.
She's like my idol.
She's great.
She's great. I love her.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, forget the Oscars. I equally want to just be an action film.
Well, like when people ask me what would my ideal be, like for like what would be the career that I would want, I was like, I want to star in an action film franchise while doing really deep, heartfelt indies on the side.
Yes,
that would be my dream.
And the problem is I feel like everybody's picking up on that wonderful, like, dream, and now people are fucking doing it, and I don't like it. They have their little, Marvel franchise. Because speaking of the twat Scarlett Johansson, she's doing Marvel, and then she's also doing this weird Under the Skin. Have you seen Under the Skin? Go see it, or maybe not. It's like an alien who comes to Earth and takes over bodies.
Is she the alien?
She's the alien. You never really... Oh, no, I guess I don't want to give it away.
Can I just say that all of her roles require her to be emotionally void.
Because she is emotionally
She
void.
is. It's because she's a shitty actress.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Like, when you said that, I was like, of course.
Of course she's Nelly.
Of course
she just
she
has
is.
to stare and just like make sure her lips stay big.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't have to do much. It's called injections. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
That's mean. Okay, I'm going to stop.
No, that's welcome here. That's welcome here. This is called actress Shmactress for a reason. We're supposed to just dwell in our negativity
Oh, that's great.
while also having hope.
Hopeful, nice. Oh, God. I mean, it's just so funny because, like, I feel like anytime I talk about the industry, I'm very a realistic person. I try to understand things and patterns and so on. So, like, you know, when I have an audition, I'm like, I probably didn't get that. First of all, you have a lot of people going, well, you're putting that out into the universe. And I'm like,
Put yourself on the universe.
I'm like, I mean, no. Because, I mean, if everyone in the world said, I am going to be an Oscar winner, it's just not going to happen. And then you hear them going, oh, but you probably thought that you couldn't do it. It's your self-doubt holding you back. I'm like, okay, so not on top of someone being depressed for not accomplishing their goals, now they have to accept guilt for creating it themselves. No, I don't believe in that particular thing. For me, it's more of like a fate, destiny, path. There's a path, and everyone has a purpose and a path, and life isn't easy, but it's challenging because you're going to learn lessons type of thing. So, anywho, back to, I don't remember, I got on
I agree. Oh, that's
tangent.
like survivors who, you know, they survive a plane crash and they're like, why do you think you survived? I think I survived because I really wanted to live. And it's like, no shit. Like, it doesn't
think
have
the
anything
person
to do.
next to you?
Yeah.
What are you saying? Who got like face slammed? Like
He
didn't
really
want
wanted to die. If you looked at him, he wanted it to end.
I actually think, oh God, there's like, I think that, you know, oh yeah, back to I'm really realistic. So like a lot of the auditions that I've been going out for last year and then even parts of this year, it's just, I'm not actually right for them. And I know that I'm not. Like, it's very, like, I had an agent who refused to think that I was anything over 18. So I was going out for 16, like, or 15-year-old roles. And I'm like, oh my God, like one of them was a look-alike role, and the actress was, like, maybe a little older than I am. And, like, in her 30s. And I'm like, I'm supposed to be a young version of her, like, what is wrong with you? Like, no. Like, I'll go to it, obviously. I will always go. But, no. Like, obviously, like, I know I'm not going to get it when, you know, the rest of the people in the fucking audition, like, waiting room are with their parents. And I'm over 25.
Oh, I've been there.
You know, like, come on.
I went into when you just go and walk in and then it's already intimidating when you walk in and there are a bunch of girls that are just like all you sitting in a row. But then when I go in and if there's all girls sitting in a row, then they like are still in actually still in high school and they just look so fresh. And I'm just like walking jaded and I want to just...
Well, I mean, like, even in that audition, I was like, you know, I still held hope that I would, because actually out of all of them, I did look the most like the actress, which is funny.
Oh, good.
It's really kind of funny. Like, I probably was the perfect fit, but I wasn't young enough, you know? And I mean, because it all depends on how young they wanted to go, too, and I'm pretty sure they wanted to go young. But, you know, I'm not saying, like, all of that is wrong. Like, I just recently went on a commercial audition where they wanted a mom. They didn't specify ages. And I'm like, I've been young mom, like, the young mom in the one that they have the young option, you know? And I don't mind that. I'm like, send me out, please. Keep doing it.
Yeah, we're mom material now.
Yes. Yeah, it's
for like, TV.
Money. Give me money.
I'll be anything you want.
Minus porn. We're good.
I'll be a potato.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Put a potato sack on me. I will be the best damn, like, potato sack wearing person ever.
For those residuals, I will do it for a yeast infection commercial. Anything.
Yes, anything. Yeah. In this case, they had the kids, but then they had the older daughter, and she was like a teen, and I'm like, This is the point where they call my name. They had like the group ready, and they called my name to go in with this group. And I stood up, and literally the people were shocked. The other people I was auditioning with, because I was at least 15 years younger looking than them, and I looked closer to the teenagers who were about to go in next. Like, it was one of those weird things where I was like, it was very clear that they should have defined ages on the casting. Because I went in, I'm like, I'm not going to get this. But I'm like, I'm okay with it. I'm like, there to do it. I'll kill it. Do my thing.
It's an opportunity.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm cool for the opportunities. Give it to me. Like, I don't mind, but, you know, it'd be nice.
Yeah.
To go in for one that makes sense.
I've walked into somewhere I know that I'm not right for it, or maybe I'm having a really bad day, and I just know that that's going to come off, because I kind of can't help that. And but I try to just see it as, and then they say this, I know they say, like, you know, it's an audition, it's an opportunity to act, which is true. But I love when they go right, even if it's for something that I know I won't get. I think that what I try to walk away every audition with is, was I happy with what I did? Oh yeah. Because I've gotten parts where I've auditioned and it's been terrible, and I still feel bad, even if they're like, oh, you booked it, and I'm like, great, because I'm like, well, I suck, so you're just gonna find out, aren't you?
Oh God, that little voice that just says, you're a fraud.
Oh yeah. What are you doing? Which is so, that voice for me had to come somewhere, because it's not coming from my mom. It's not coming from my sister. It's everyone's so supportive around me, and it's a pain in the ass.
Well, I think no matter who you are, that voice exists. And it exists from a very young age. Like I had that voice, like I remember when I was a little kid, like my voice is a mean bitch. Like she's mean. She's been mean to me for a long time. And like even now it's just like I've got her to quiet down a bit, but she rears her head at any weak moment, you know, she's like, this is what you get. You're not really that good. Everyone's gonna know.
I feel like mine's like a drunk on the couch who just like bops their head up every once in a while, like, oh, you thought you could do that. No, you can't. All right, I'll be down here. It's like a very lazy negativity.
Lazy negativity, I love it. I wish mine were lazy. Mine is not lazy.
I mean, it pops up. It pipes in when it needs to, when it must bring me down.
Oh, yeah.
But, God, this is so fun. What time is it? I feel like I've taken so much of your... Oh, my God, I think we've gone like an hour and a half. This has been magical. I think I got to wrap up now.
Cool.
We were going to talk about stand-in background, but fuck that, because I just like want to go with the flow of the conversation, and it's been a lovely conversation. And I want to give you an opportunity to plug anything, give your Instagram, just your home address, your blood type, anything. Go
anything,
for it.
my social security number, credit cards, we got it. Instagram's Britt Fiola, 2 T's, Fiola. It's great. And I would say visit my website. It's great. And cast me, hashtag. And
is your website www.brittfiola.com? Okay, perfect.
Get. And let me see. Yeah, I think the web series is still being worked on right now. So
yeah, I'll get a clip out. I will be posting pictures and whatever you brought, relevant stuff to Britt on Instagram when this episode comes out. As long as along with footage and your reel, even if that's okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So that you guys can see her work. Yes. And now that you've gotten to know her, this Shmactress is now has completed and helped me with my first episode. So thank you for coming. And we look forward to seeing what stuff you do, and hopefully you get to act in a movie with James McAvoy.
Yes, that would be very bad. Like, what if he ended up being like horrible, like as a person? Like I don't think I'm ready to meet him. I kind of want it to be like a far away crush, like you never learn who they really are.
I've thought that about you and too, because I've thought like maybe I should stay away for him and for me.
Yeah, because it would destroy that crush.
All right. Well, sad. I hope you never act with him. I hope he dies before you. No,
oh my God.
Just went from 0 to 60.
Don't die, James.
Don't die,
Keep it
James. We love you.
together. You got this.
All right. Thanks, everybody. And I didn't think of I still don't have some like little tag at the end to be like, here's the send off. So just go listen to the next episode. Thanks, guys. Bye.